Welcome to all. In this video, we will see about the blotting techniques, their basic principles. The term blotting refers a three-step process to detect nucleic acids or proteins of interest. We will see what are the three steps one by one. Step 1 is separating nucleic acids, that means DNA or RNA, and proteins by gel electroporation. The next step is we have to transfer these resolved nucleic acids or proteins into a solid surface. That means the membranes of nylon, nitrocellulose or PVDF capable to high affinity with nucleic acids or proteins. So once we transfer in such membranes, they become stable. And the third stage is hybridization. The term hybridization refers the immobilized nucleic acids or proteins interacted with nucleic acid probes or protein antibodies in the membrane is called hybridization. Here initially we load our sample in a gel. So this gel is a SDS page. So this shows the resolved proteins. This is one method of transferring proteins into membranes. So this is a semi-tight transfer machine, and during this process your sample is immobilized in the membrane. Then we can add probes or antibodies. So this membrane capture the protein, and with the help of antibodies the protein of interest is detected here. Based on purpose, the blotting techniques are named with 4 or 5 different types. First one is first ever method reported is to detect the DNA by the procedure. E.M. Southern first reported this method to detect the DNA in 1975. By his name, it is called as Southern blotting. The next method is to detect the RNA molecules, and the name of the method is called Northern blot. Alvin, Kemp and Stark in the year 1977 reported the method to detect RNA using blotting method. And third method is Western blot. This method is used to detect the expression of proteins. Three scientific groups independently reported the method to detect the proteins by Western blot: Burnett and Taubin and Stark, reported in the year 1979. These three are the most popular blotting technique used. In addition, the method called Southwestern blot used to detect the DNA binding proteins, reported by Bowen and Steenberg in the year 1980, and Eastern blot or native blot is used to protein with post-translational modification. The term post-translational modification means immediately after the translation, proteins undergo certain modifications in the amino acids such as glycosylation, disulfide bond formation, folding, etc. So with its modified stature, the protein is detected by Eastern blot or native blot method, and it is reported by Bogdanov in the year 1996. So now we will see the three-step process of basic principles in blotting techniques. So first thing is separation of molecules. It may be nucleic acid, DNA, RNA or proteins. So here we use the electrophoresis approach. For DNA molecules, initially the double strand DNA is denatured and separated into single strand. Then we resolve in the agarose gel electrophoresis and run with the buffer called tris acetate EDTA or tris borate EDTA buffer. If the DNA fragment size is very small, such as oligonucleotides less than 50 base pair fragments, then sodium dodecyl sulfate polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis known as STS page is used for resolving the DNA molecules. Similarly, RNA is resolved in the agarose gel. Since RNA molecules are single stranded and highly unstable, we have to renature prior to performing the gel electrophoresis. For that purpose, formaldehyde is used to preparation of gel as well as preparation of running buffers of tris acetate EDTA or tris borate EDTA buffer. And if the RNA size is very small, such as microRNA, small RNAs less than 50 base pair, are resolved by sodium dodecyl sulfate polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. For protein molecules, STS page is used to resolve the proteins according to their molecular weights, and it is used for next procedure called immobilization. So now we will see the most popular membranes used for the immobilization of resolved nucleic acid or protein molecules in the gel. So three kinds of membranes are most common. The first one is nylon membrane. The nylon membranes are positively charged and quaternary amine structure that form the stable linkage with nucleic acids under alkaline condition. The key disadvantage of this nylon membrane is it have very strong affinity with anions such as the agents we are using in blotting procedure, sodium dodecyl sulfate or Pontius red. So it will produce background, or we cannot use the Pontius red for transient detection of transfer of proteins into the membrane or not. And mostly nylon membranes used for the southern blotting. The next membrane is called nitrocellulose membrane. The nitrocellulose membrane have the capability of attracting high amount of proteins, so it will be more sensitive to detect even very low amount of protein also. And nitrocellulose membranes are highly compatible to detect various methods of detecting nucleic acids as well as proteins. The weakness of this membrane is it is highly fragile, so we cannot use this membrane for multiple times, and it is highly suitable for Western blotting techniques. The third membrane is called PVDF membrane or polyvinylidene difluoride membrane. This membrane is most widely used in modern days, and by nature it is hydrophobic, so we have to pre-wet this membrane with methanol or any alcohols prior to perform the transferring proteins from the gel to the membrane. And this membrane is highly suitable to perform Western blot, Southern blot, Northern blot. And another key advantage is this membrane can be reusable for several times. Once we completing one blotting procedure, we use the stripping buffer. Again, we subject this membrane for immobilization of another set of nucleic acid or proteins dissolved in the gel. Now we will see the probes which are used for the hybridization and detection of DNA or RNA or protein. So the term hybridization means we use the probes or antibodies specifically binds to nucleic acid or protein of our interest, and we can identify by the probes carrying radioactive or non-radioactive labels along with it. Now we will see what are the probes used for different kinds of blotting technique. For southern blotting, DNA molecules exact complementary to fragment of interest is prepared, and it is radio labeled with radioisotopes or non-radioactive fluorescent labels are attached with the probes so that we can easily visualize the presence or absence of the complementary DNA of. For northern blot, single strand DNA sequence transcript radio labeled or non-radio labeled is used. The key difference between the probes of southern blot and northern blot is the northern blot probes are always in the transcript structure. That means if in the case of eukaryotes, the introns are excluded. And for western blot and eastern blotting techniques, the protein molecules, that means the antibodies of our specific to our protein of interest, that is conjugated with horseradish peroxidase HRA or alkaline phosphatase or AP conjugated molecules are widely used. Horseradish peroxidase conjugated antibodies capable to detect very low quantity of protein, hence they are highly sensitive, and we need sophisticated instruments such as chemiDAC apparatus to detect the presence of the protein of interest. The second conjugate called alkaline phosphatase is widely used for colorimetric method. So we can visually see the reddish brown band appearing over the membrane. For southwestern blotting techniques, that similar to southern and northern, the DNA fragment is used. It also radio labeled or non-radioactive labeled material. So these are all the basic principles for blotting techniques applicable for DNA, RNA and proteins. In the next lectures, we will see about southern blotting, northern blot, and we will see the western blotting technique to use the expression at protein levels. Thank you.